Welcome back, everyone. A typically red state Senate seat in Texas will now be filled by a Democrat after this weekend's special election. This is the first time in more than 3 decades that a Republican has lost there. Taylor Remmett handily defeated Lee Wamsgauns Saturday in a district President Trump won by 17 points back in 2024. Here's how the president reacted to this Democratic victory while speaking to reporters yesterday.
You mean I won by 17
You did.
and this person lost? Things like that happen.
Does it worry you about the
Well, you don't know whether or not it's transferable. I'm not on the ballot, so you don't know whether or not it's transferable.
For more on this, let's welcome our political panel and what we affectionately call our Strat Chat. You're looking at Michael LaRosa on the left. He's a partner at the government relations firm Ballard Partners and the former press secretary to First Lady Jill Biden. Kevin Sheridan, you see there on the right, is a Republican strategist who was also the former spokesman for the Republican National Committee. A good Monday morning to you both as we kick off February here. Michael, let's start with you because a Democrat also won a separate special election in Texas this weekend for the U.S. House. All of this narrows Republicans' already slim House majority. So how concerning is this for Republicans and the president?
Well, I think it was expected that the Democrat was going to win the congressional seat. So I think Democrats were eager to keep those margins closer in Congress, which becomes a bigger challenge for Speaker Johnson. In terms of the state Senate victory, I'm a Democrat, so I'm always pleased to see a Democrat win. However, I'm always really reluctant to draw any larger meaning from a special election. Special elections are special for a reason. This is a county. This district sits in a county that President Biden did happen to win in 2020. President Trump won the actual seat by 17 points, the district itself. But I would be really reluctant to read many tea leaves ahead of the midterm election. It doesn't tell us what's going to happen in the majority-making districts for Democrats, which are places like Scranton, Allentown, Grand Rapids, places like that.
Kevin, I want to play some sound from the Democratic Congressman-elect's victory speech on Saturday. Let's just listen to this.
That when I go into Congress, I'm going to fight each and every day to impeach Kristi Noem. To tear ICE up from the roots and to fix this country's broken immigration system.
So we heard Mr. Menifee there focusing on ICE. Do you think the Democratic wins were all about ICE and DHS, or is something bigger happening here?
No, I don't think it's just about ICE, because if you connect this weekend's results with the clean sweep in Virginia by Democrats and New Jersey, it portends some ominous signs for Republicans. Every midterm election where the president is in power, his party is going to get hurt generally. It almost never happens that that's not the case. I spent the weekend talking to several Texans who couldn't agree on whether or not this was even a big shakeup in that district. It's certainly not a good sign, but I think Donald Trump has placed and Republicans have placed big bets on the economy, on bringing back manufacturing and foreign direct investment. And if any of those things hit this year and the economy keeps growing and we get good signs, I think that'll be the only chance Republicans have to not get, a large blue wave hit them.
But Republicans do have something going for them. Michael, I want to ask you, because federal campaign records show the RNC, that's the Republican National Committee, had a massive cash advantage over the Democratic National Committee at the end of 2025. Why is that? And do Democrats really have enough time to turn it around?
Sure, there's a lot of time to turn it around. There's a lot of sort of X factors we won't know about the midterm election and how voters are going to behave when they get to the voting booth or when they fill out their ballot. But one of the things that's remarkable is I think this cycle reminds me so much of 2 decades ago in the 05-06 cycle, when Democrats were also shut out of power after President Bush's 2004 reelection. And you know what? Heading into 2006. Democrats were behind in the money game by DNC versus RNC, but it really didn't make the difference. That didn't have a proportional effect for the election. As you know, Democrats won in a big blue wave that year. But I think it's, there are a lot of places to put money these days, not just in the committees. The committee money themselves shouldn't be a sort of test of strength at this point.
And Kevin, we reported earlier that President Trump has an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal today. What should he be focusing on between now and the midterms? His op-ed is focused on the economy, but what could he focus on to maintain the current cash advantage by Republicans?
Well, when you have the White House, House and Senate, the money, the checkbooks open more easily, and that's why you see that big money advantage. And Republicans have done a good job of fundraising, as the big lead shows. But the message is, what ultimately is going to determine votes in November. Look, Donald Trump is out there. He's on the stump. He went to Iowa. He's talking about the economy. The only issue Donald Trump has is he creates so much news that it's hard to ever land one message on the economy at a time because there's just so much else going on. We've got carriers in Iran now. We just did Venezuela. There's all sorts of other things going on, these ICE raids. So getting back to the economy is a good thing. To the extent that that's possible, he should continue to do it.
All right, Michael LaRosa, Kevin Sheridan, great to have you both on this Monday. Thanks for being with us.